Hello everybody, this is Sonya, doing my Sonya's Sewing Sunday thing on a Monday yet again. Sorry about that. Getting through this flu type thing that I've had for quite a while, so slowly getting better, and so much better today. Okay, so thank you everybody for coming back and having a check on this. I'm just going to have a small mouthful of my coffee so I can clear my throat a bit. Okay, so this is the last page that we've done. Now you can probably see that I've changed a few things because the envelope I had was way too big that I made for down here, so I just stitched around that one and made a little one and closed it. It's just for the look, that little fella. Okay, I guess so. I guess that's what this book actually was for techniques anyway, for different techniques. Now this one here that I did, I don't want you to make the same mistake I did. I put lace on there that was really open and like holy, and it fiddles around trying to get down in there, you know. So I've actually put two, I might have to put a piece of calico down in there so this can go back in, but this doesn't want to go in there today. Anyway, so I did this piece of this bit that I've got here is actually it's like a Irish crochet, they say. What I did, how I did this, a little bit tricky, not too hard, but you know, it just depends what you want to make. I've only done round bits so far. Something like that to make a bow, and I'll just show you a technique for the crochet in a short while. But I'm going to there's the thing that I made. I finished crochet around here, a little bit higgledy-piggledy, but I think it looks, you know, and I wanted to put that in the centre. It took me a long time, didn't it? I kept changing that, you know, but I got that right finally. And then I did this flower here, and that's just made the same way as I did that one. All right, so that's the next page. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to go through page by page because today I feel like I would really like to do some embroidery sewing for you, and I know that a lot of people are looking forward to me showing you how to do some of the embroidery stitches and that. So what I did when I did my book, and I'm going to do this like when I did these when I made these samples, I did them on a large piece of material, and then I've cut them out and stuck them in here so I could use them. I'm going to actually do them on small pieces now as well, so I can use them on, I don't know if I want to put, but I'm not going to keep making pages for the book because I've already got the book here, and I really want to just show you the techniques of the things that I've put in the book. But you have got the idea of the size of the book, you know how I'm putting it together by the first two things that I've did, and I'll come back and I've done the page, I've done this page and the front one. I've done the front and the second one, but I'm going to come back along here and do some more of these directly. I just want to do some embroidery today, but I'll come back here onto these because I'll probably do that one next. I don't know. It just depends, you know, how you feel. But I thought, now I'd really like to try some of this, and I want to show you how to do this bullion stitch today, and we're going to make some lavender and, you know, the little fly stitch to do the French and the French knots on this one here. So I hope that this works out all right, and we're just going to get started. Now I've got a piece of calico here that actually has been washed, so it's got a little bit of a wrinkle in it, and that's okay because you want a texture. I like a bit of texture, and I like to keep these bits, but they're good for making a bow if you can get them all together, or stitching them all up, you know. But anyway, there's lots that Sonya's got to do besides before I can get to that. So committed I am to doing this room, and I've got it, you know what, made it worse than it's ever been in its life, but I've got ideas, and I'm going to come back on here after I do this and talk to you about my ideas, alright? Well, if you're interested in my ideas. So now we need some thread. Right, so there's all sorts of embroidery thread, and I've done this sort of thing before, but that's okay because I don't mind showing the new people, or the newbies, because I've got a lot. Now I've put this in here because this is only like a place where I put back what I've used, and I should have put it back all in the right place, shouldn't I? Okay, but anyway, we're going to, this is a good collection so I can show you all the different sorts of things that there is. Well, there's heaps of them, isn't there? So this is a silk thread, and we're not going to be using that today so far, I don't think. This one is either a anchor or a DMC thread that you buy on a hank, and then you can put it into there. That is the hank that you buy it on. That's a DMC one. That's how you get them, and that's what most of these would be. Then you get let me see, you can buy, oh, that's like a woolly one, isn't it? That's a DMC. It's more of a woolly sort of thing. It might be wool. It might be why it's woolly. Wait a minute, let me see. It is too, it's pure. It says it's pure virgin wool on that. Okay, so I've got a lot of my DMC cottons here hanging around that I haven't rolled, you know, because I used to love buying them and coming home and rolling them. That was in the day when I was only buying a couple a week, you know, to build up my stash. Now I'm ratting through here, pulling them all in different ways, because I just wanted to show you these other ones that are pearl ones. These are like a crochet cotton. There's a pearl thread. He's on a hank too, like that. Only I've taken it apart. Probably was going to sew it. There's another colour one, and there's another one. And these are like a crochet thread. You can crochet with them. There's on each hank, there's not probably enough to do a big project, but you could probably do a flower with the hanks that you buy for that. Okay, I might just nick out this cream colour one. One might use that. And I wanted to get some lavender, so I'm going to need some purpley colour. Purpley mauve, mauve mostly, I'd say that would be, wouldn't it, Sonya? I mean, I've got a, this is a crochet thread, but I'm not going to use that today, I don't think, unless I need to. Maybe I will, because that might give you a bit of an idea, what the colour looks like when it's done. So these are all DMC. You can use whatever sort that you have. It just depends on the end result. Some things work really well, and they, you know, I shouldn't have done that because I was probably going to. Anyway, well, if I got it all in this one place here, or some of it, I can go through later and I can pick out what I really wanted to use to put away. You know what I mean? Okay, this is a beaut colour, and I love that. I love the colour of that. Now I'll just leave these for the time being while we just do this. Put it back over here. Now usually, as a rule, I do this on a hoop. For some reason I've only got hoops that are larger than this piece of thread, because my small one's gone and vanished. You can do it on a hoop if you like. It's up to you. Embroidery hoop. You can also use they got like a plastic picture frame thing that you buy, and you can also put it in there if you want to, if you can't find an embroidery hoop, or just do it by hand. And when I mean that, I mean you know, just by hand. Just hold on to it. Whatever you do, though, don't pull your thread. Now, for what I'm going to do will be the I'm going to make the lavender piece first. So I will do maybe the little bits, you know, the top parts of it, and then I'll do the stems. So I'm going to show you now how to do a bullion stitch. Now, a bullion stitch, I'm just checking out my needles here. I'm going to show you what sort of needle. And you need to use, and I'm sure I put it, didn't I set them back down there? It had them in my hand, you know how that is? But I'm sure I put them back in this pin cushion here so I could find them. That's really how things go, isn't it, Sonya? I want to use what is called a straw needle. Now, if you go to where the haberdashery parties in any of your stores, wherever you are, they will have needles in packets, and sometimes they have a variety of different ones. I don't believe that that's not still sitting there. I had 3 of them, and I just set them in there, so I thought I could show you these. I don't know, I'm blind as a bat. Here's one, I think. Here. I don't know, but you can't really see that, I don't think, but there's a hole. There's a hole in... this not working, is there? That is sort of... I don't know if you can see the hole. It's not very big. Now, when I say that, it'll fit through something really alright. Now this is a little bit bent, this one. It looks like I might have been using it. It's got a long part there. A long part. This one here is not as thick around. You need something that's got a good solid body on it, right? And they are actually called a straw needle, and you'll recognise them by the small little head, and it's thicker there and fairly long. Now that one there's okay, I guess, but I think I'm going to use the one I've had this. I'm really lucky that I've been sewing for a long time, and I think I have the thing that I can feel what my needle's like, and by looking at it I know which one I'm going to use for what. Okay, so this is going to be to make the little lavender tops. Now I'm going to do them actually in this really pale lavender. If you like, you can do a little drawing. If you want to do that, you can just put a nice sharp pencil, will be good. You could just put down a few stems. I mean my arm. I could put a few stems, and 3 is nice. Like they're sort of biggish, aren't they? I might like to stick in this. I should have put that first. You know, if you want to put your space of where you want it to go to, you want to put a. Now it depends on you how many you want, because you want to fill it up with the leaves or the bullion knot stitch. When I did the other one, I wrapped little green around it as well. I put little green through there, but I'm not going to do that with this. It's up to you with it. When I say put little green, I actually used 2 threads. I used a mauve one and a green colour, like a light green. I'll show you that one in a second. I'll just do a couple of these first. Now you need a really not fairly long, but don't go too over top and get yourself. This is probably 20 inches long, this piece, but that's enough. Okay, you don't want to have too much; you'll get all tangled up. I can do it with this because it should thread through this needle all right. No, it didn't. It just went flying past it. Let's get that through that hole there. It is really cool here in Australia. Oh dear, I really want the weather to be better. I'm going to lick that. I'm not supposed to, are you? But I do every time. I can't help myself. Push that through the hole. Oh dear. There you go. Right. Now, so we need just one thickness. Very, very rarely do I join 2 pieces together and knot it, because that's really the hardest thing to cope with after. I'm sorry about my broken old fingernails. Anyway, so I can see, and I hope you can, where these bits are here, these little lines, or we can go over to this one. So all the little pieces are going to go like on an angle like that, little tiny pieces of lavender either side. Little, I don't know what they're called, little bits. So you want to come up through the top away from where you want to make it. So I'm just going to stick that through there. That's not where you're going to go. I'm going to show you that that's as long as what it's going to be. Okay, so you come up through there and you got a knot. You don't have to knot it if you don't want to. It's up to you. A lot of people don't do knots in embroidery. They just make sure they work it in. So you need to come down into here, right, on your line, and go back up and pick up where you went through first time, righto? So you want to just go back up through there, and you got this. So now you're going to judge about that far, okay? Because you're going to get this piece of, you're going to hang on to your work, right? You make it look a bit harder, Sonya, why don't you? So you want to hang on to it like that. Make sure you've got plenty here, and you're going to wrap this. And don't do it really tight, but do it, you know, like comfortable. See, so I went a little bit too far, but I'm not really worried because I want it to have a little bit of a movement in it. And then you just hang on to all that and you pull this through, and you don't want to let go till you get right down to there. And there is your first little one of those. Okay. And you just give him a little roll if you don't think he looks tidy, and you've got him there, and that's him. Look at that. Okay, now I'm hoping that you're going to be able to see this properly. Now the next one, we want to bring it down a little bit further because they're not on the branch evenly. I don't know. I'm just going to say that to you. And we're going to come back in there and we're going to do up through here. And we're going to wrap it. Now, if you want to do this with me as I'm doing it, it does make it a lot easier. So that's same distance, look. Now hang on to there, hold this really, like, not firm, but so you can move the needle through. Hang on to that with those two fingers and just pull it through. Keep going, keep going, keep going, and then you got there. Look at this, see, you got that. Right, now with this stitch you can do really good grub roses, right, and then you just go down in the back. You don't want to go back down the hole you come out of, you go down the one near it. So then we're going to put, well see, this is going to take a lot of little bits, but I'm going to show you a few more because I'm going to do the stem so you can see what the result of it's going to be when I've done it. So you want to come back down. I'm going to make a bit longer one just a bit of fun. Now this stitch just got me when I first, oh dear, it was tricky. 1, 2, 3, I don't have to count them, do I? I don't have to count them. You just need to measure whatever, and because I'm using this thread, which is a really good idea if you're starting out, it's not, it's thick enough to see it nicely and to see your results, and it has a little ridge in it when it's done, so that makes it look a little bit more interesting. I think so anyway. And then you just give it a little roll. I might have been able to put another couple of wraps on that, I would have thought. Just by looking at it, I'm thinking I could have done that. Okay. Now, I don't want to really end this off because I'm going to do more along the way, so I'm going to just leave it sitting there for a second. And I'm going to get some of this nice green. I love this colour. It's beautiful, isn't it? Now, you just want 2 threads of the green. And I've got probably the same, and they say about 18 to 20 inches of thread, and I think I've got too much, but anyway. So when I'm dividing it, people used to just pull it apart like that. Well, that's just too tricky. All you got to do is just go one at a time. Just grab one thread and pull it out, and it just does not do anything wrong. It just all comes undone, like, and then you can roll it around your one of these when I find them. But I have got some. So anyway, I'm going to just make sure that these are back together. 2 threads. I like to do a lot with 2 threads. It will be enough because we're going to do a stem stitch. Now, because I'm only doing something that's really thin, and I can just use an ordinary needle, which is not going to be that one because it hasn't got a big enough hole for me to see to thread it this week, sometime this week. I really need to get on with that, you see. Hang on, one here that I had threaded up earlier. Now this one here is just probably a crewel needle. A crewel needle has a lot bigger eye and a sharp point, and they're really good to do, to use cotton. I'm going to cut a bit of this off, it's a bit wasted, isn't it? But I'll put it there with that other bit of stuff. Now I'm going to make a knot. Now I would have showed you previously, back in the other videos, how to do a stem stitch. And I'm trying not to tangle myself up with that other one there. Okay, so you just come up there at the back, and you want to go up along and back to where you come out, but not in that hole, okay? And then you go down in there again, back up there. Keep your work down here. Don't put it up then down, like don't come up here. Keep it down this way, otherwise it'll go all higgledy-piggledy. There probably is a stitch done that way, but I don't think I've used it as yet. When you pull your work through, be hanging on to it. Don't just take it firmly, but don't pull it really tight. It'll all pucker. I suppose I learnt on a hoop. Did I really? Some of it. I did some on hoop and some, and it sort of gives you, an idea. Now you want to come up across here, so I'm close to it. So this is your stem stitch. Good name for it, because that's what we're making out of, a stem. So that's what it looks like, doesn't it? I'm going to get down in there, because I'm just going past here. Hope you can see this. I know people that watch on their phones can't see very good, and I'm terribly sorry about that. Or their iPads or something. I don't know how you can watch the things, because I only use a computer or the laptop. Now I've got to come up to the top here, and I'm going to have to go down to the back. I want to make another one on the top. See, I want to put another one of those, and I didn't pull that tight enough. You can give him a bit of it. There we go. Righto. So that's your stem stitch. And I did catch a bit of that, but we're not going to be too worried about it because it's not going to cause us a problem. We're just going to go through the back and end off this here. In hindsight, in different time, I probably would have tried to do every one of those stems one after the other, but then it gets a bit tricky. I think to that one we might leave and come back onto this, because I really would like to do a few more of these bits. Give you another bit of a go on this. And then I might thread a piece of green through it and just show you what it looks like with the green in there. Okay. That went through the thread, so I'm going back to undo that because it went through this piece of thread, that needle did. I count everything, and I don't know why, because I don't need to have a counting thing. Oh dear. Oh well. Right, then. There you go. Now to do that, well, you see, you've got to put a whole lot on there. Now we're going to go up here and we're going to put a tiny bit on the top, because then we can put a tiny bit of leaf around him, can't we? Because there's leaves. 1, 2, 3 should be enough. You didn't really end out that tiny, but that's the tip of it, so you want to put it up there. So I find that I never used to really take that much notice of flowers. You just see that they were really pretty. I'm going to end that off now just for the time being, because I'm going to put another bit of thread in this. But you do, after you start to embroider them, you go and you think, oh, does that really look like what I was doing? Because you really want it to, don't you? Now I had a bit extra thread here that I put over here, didn't I? Now, is that long enough? It will be. So I'm going to get a piece of the green and a piece of the mauve. I'm going to put them together like that, and they are close to being the same length. I've got to thread them through the needle that I had the thicker parts threaded through, which is not that one, it's this one here, and just thread them through together. And my eyes are not, I'm due to get some new glasses, so that'll be good. My needles bend because I notice my bead ones do really bad because of the heat of your hands, and because you know, if you, oops, got one through. I'm going to try and see if I can get this through on top of it, because I don't want to play around here all day. Well, I don't mind, but I just don't want to bore you with all this threading. Make sure you go through the same way, Sonya. Oh, it doesn't matter, does it? Now that you didn't think that through, did you, before you said it? I don't sometimes have a filter, I'm sorry. There we go. Look at that. It's through there. Right, now you want them the same length, like that. Yeah, okay. I don't know if my husband wanted me, but I think he'll come back and see me if he does. I think he wanted to know if I wanted some lunch, but I don't yet. I'm good. Okay, so we're going to go put a knot in it. Make sure they're both the same length, like I said. Now, in amongst this one, see, we can put on the one with the I'll just take it out. I don't want it to be too, it needs to come up on an angle and come down into there. Alright. Dear oh dear, I hope you can see what I'm doing. And then we're just going to get this and wrap that. And I should have used a darker colour thread, shouldn't I? I don't know what I was thinking. And then you just roll him back a bit. And he gives the look like he's got a bit of green through him. Which there is actually little tiny green leaves on that, isn't there? The lavender. So that's what that one looks like. We'll put another one down here. Be making them as big. I should have made it Okay, so wrap that, not too tight, hang on to it, pull that through, and chuck him in there a bit and put down. Okay, now I'm going to still need to put in between these pieces more bits, because that's what I want it to be, what I want it to look like. Okay, righto. Actually, I think he's going up to get some results from the doctors. That might be what he wanted to tell me he was going. Do I want anything? I don't know. Okay, so now we're going to pull that through there. And we got another. There you go. So this is a piece of lavender that we're making, and I'm sure there's other things too that you can, you know, like other plants that you can use that for. Okay, so you do a whole heap because it's bushy, isn't it? You know, it's got to be nice and bushy. Alright, now I'll just check to see how much time I got on here. I've really run out of time now. That's not good. I'm going to do another, I'll do another bit. I'm just going to turn this off, and then I'll continue on to make, I might do a rub rose, okay, with the bullion stitch, because they look really cool. So I won't be a minute. Okay, bye.